Spirent TestCenter GUI application allows network service providers and network equipment manufacturers to measure the performance of a router or switch under a variety of realistic and worst-case scenarios. True performance of a device is established by stress testing the routing software, the data forwarding hardware, and the overall system architecture under both static and dynamic routing conditions. So Spirent TestCenter which is when used with iTest provides a deterministic and a repeatable test methodology environment. So this demo is about Spirent TestCenter GUI application when it is used with iTest. So to start using this feature, I will simply make a new session profile. I'll select Spirent TestCenter GUI, and there are various properties available here, such as providing the session name. Some of them are optional and some of them are required, like the chassis IP address, which has to be provided in order to start the Spirent TestCenter session. So the chassis IP is the IP address that is required, which is the IP address of the chassis to which we will have the session on. The ports are defined in a fashion where the first number is the card number, and the second number, which is separate, where the two numbers are separated by a colon. The second number describes the port number, and you can connect to multiple ports at a time by specifying the card number colon port number. So there is a help button on each of these fields to help the user in case if he faces any difficulties. The configuration file is an optional file that is required. You may want to export a configuration file from the Spirent TestCenter application, and you can load the XML file in iTest if you want to reload a test that you had previously run on Spirent TestCenter and now you want to run it via iTest. Apart from these features, you can go into more detailed specifications and provide additional information if you want customized behavior of the testing environment, such as providing a specific tickle executable library. If you have Spirent TestCenter tickle API directory pointing to somewhere else, then you can provide it over here. Then there are Spirent specific options available where you can specify the port steps, the custom 16-bit filter steps, with all of its different properties which are specified in the Spirent TestCenter documentation. So let's go ahead and start a session. So when you click the start button, iTest will open a new session window which will then try to connect to the chassis IP address and to the specified ports that you have provided in the session profile. Okay, so now we are connected to the chassis IP address, whatever we had provided before, and now we are connected, and this is a Spirent TestCenter GUI application window. So on the left hand side you can see the different tree-like tree where you can browse through the different options available in the application. All hosts will display all the hosts which are active on all the ports available on the current session. So currently we do not have any hosts, so it will not display anything. The same goes with the different options available over here. So as you can see that there are two ports to which we are connected, and so the first one, as I said before, was the card number, and the second one is the port number. So let's go ahead and try to start some Spirent tests. So I move to port number 1:3, that's card 1 port 3, and in this card I am going to add a new raw stream block. So I click on the raw stream block, add raw stream block option, and it pops up a window with which will have the different specifications I want to provide for this stream block. So let me just go ahead and name this as stream block example 1, and you can vary the different options that you want to specify for this particular stream block. So I'll just go ahead and increment the step size to 2, and I will go and increase this load percentage to 20%, and click OK. So this will add a new stream block to my current port. So let me just go ahead and add a couple of more stream blocks. So now I'm going to add a couple of streams to the second port. As you can see that the command which is being issued is also being recorded down in the console window. The add stream block is the command that is going to be issued by iTest in order to issue the command to the Spirent TestCenter, and 2 is specified. 2 specifies the port or the numerical value of the port to which I'm connecting to. So these all actions will be recorded by iTest when we want to automate this process. So let's go ahead and start capturing some of the packets that we are trying to look in this Spirent TestCenter session. Then I will go ahead and start generator. As you can see that there are 2 places where you can start generators and you can start capture. So when you click on the start generator or the start capture on the top, it means that it's going to start capture on all the ports active on this session. At the same time, there is a start capture as well as start generator, stop generator on each individual ports. This is for starting and stopping capture and generators on each individual ports only. So since we have added generators on both the ports, I will go ahead and start them, both of them. Okay. As you can see that there are different views over here to which I can subscribe to. These views correspond to the views provided in the Spirent TestCenter application, and iTest has exactly the same views. So if I am interested in subscribing to, say, the first 3 views, I will just click all 3 of them. I will add them to my subscribe list, and then I will apply. So now we are subscribed to these 3 views. As you can see on the left hand side in the tree view, that we have 3 different views to which we can look data into, and these 3 views will have the data corresponding to whatever test that we are running. Since we have already started a traffic generator, you can see that the generator bit rate is changing over here, and so is the diff serve results view being updated in real time. So after we have captured some considerable amount of packets, let us stop the generator and stop the capture. So after we have stopped the capture, it will display whatever packets have been captured in real time during this session, and we can browse through these different results in real time. So if you click on the button over here, then you can browse the different uh, results. And so when you're browsing the different results, and if you want to capture that particular results in your iTest session, then you have to explicitly uh, click on show packets in order to display and capture those packets inside your particular test session. So after we have completed our basic tests, and then we have verified whatever we are testing and verified the values manually once, and when we want to repeat this process over and over again, we can render this into an iTest test case. So for that, let me just close our current session, and now we are back to the iTest window. Now I change my current view to the capture view, and this is the last session that I had done, and as you can see, whatever actions that I had performed were captured by iTest. So I can render this to a test case. So I will just right click on that particular session. As you can see that this is the Spirent TestCenter GUI, and these are the 12 different steps that I executed during my particular iTest Spirent TestCenter GUI application, and these have been captured by iTest. So I'll just go ahead, right click, and then I will add them to the test case. So there are different options available when you want to add your particular actions to a test case. You can either create a new test case and let all the actions be available, add actions to that new test case, or you can add the captured items to an already existing test case. So if you are trying to build different trying to simulate different actions, then you can capture them independently and then add them to a final big test case, or you want to store them individually as different test case. iTest provides you the options of doing both of them. So for this example, I'm just going to go ahead and create a new test case using the captured items, and let me just rename this as Spirent Test Demo. Next. So you can either use a test case template if you would like to, and there are different procedures to which these actions will be added to, but I'm not going to use this for this example. So just go ahead and uncheck that option, and then when I click finish, you can see that all my actions that I had performed have been added to this particular test case. So when I just go ahead and click on any one of them, if you can see down, the response that I get from executing each of the different test case is going to be available to me in my response view, and for every action that I have performed, there will be a different response that I'll get in that session, and all that gets captured in the results view. So if I want to verify something, or if I want to add an analysis rule to this particular test case on any of its value, then I can just go ahead and then click on in any one of them, and let me just if I want to check if the length is 136, then I will just go ahead, right click on this particular value that I'm interested in, go to the analysis rule wizard. There are different rules that you can specify in order to test your response. So I'll just go ahead and validate this particular response. And so as you can see that there are different options how you can compare the output of the response and how do you want to handle them. So I want to compare this particular value to a specified value, so I'll just select that and go ahead, and I wanted to select on the third value, and I want to make sure that this particular value is always greater than, say, 130. So this is the analysis rule that I want to add to my test case, and there are a whole bunch of different options available in order to do detailed analysis of the different values and how it should behave when you get a particular result. So you can either pass the test case if it has not failed, you can directly pass the test or fail the test. There are different severity options that are available in order to handle this particular scenario, and there are options available for both when the expression is evaluated as true and when it is evaluated as false. So I'll just let the default configuration stay and just go ahead and finish it. So I have added an analysis rule to my test case. Let's just go ahead and save this particular test case, and when I want to replay this test, this exact same test that I have manually seen or performed right now, and I have stored it as a test case and added this analysis rule to verify it, then I can just go ahead and start playing the particular test case, and it will replay the exact scenario and the steps that I had performed in order to check. So as you can see, iTest is auto-playing all of my actions that I had performed during that particular session, and it will go ahead and check that particular value that I had entered in order to verify that particular test case. So as you can see in my test report, it can, on the step number 10 that I had specified my analysis rule, it checked the length of 63 that matched to the value 136 and which is greater than 130, and hence it passed the test case. At the same time, what you can also do is there are different options available where you can manually edit an existing test case. If you already know the different actions available, then you can just go ahead and manually enter and edit a test case so that you can customize it, change it with time and requirements. And there are different options available. There are different arguments for each action, and all of these things can be done using iTest in accordance with Spirent TestCenter.